Hello everyone, and welcome to the Family That Games Together D&D podcast. This is Starring D&D Grandma, episode 20, Artemancy, where the tensions in the city between the party and this outside force known as the Bonechewers come to a head. This episode is a great example of a GM having to improvise due to player action, as certain things went away that I was not ready for, and I had to kind of improvise on the fly. The party did a great job adjusting to situations and really just kind of keeping me on my toes. It would seem like it might be frustrating for a GM, but for me it was a lot of fun. I really love it when they come up with things that force me to be flexible and just kind of think on the fly. It really makes for a great game, and I think the energy comes across at the table. I think you'll all enjoy it. East Coast Comic Con, right around the corner. The DM reveals will be coming soon. As I told you, there is an all-star team of GMs that have been put together to run 5th edition games at the con, all of which will take place in the same world that the podcast takes place in, my homebrew world of Uranus. So stay tuned. We'll be giving you updates as they come. You can get your tickets at eastcoastcomiccon.com. That'll be May 15th, 16th, and 17th. We will be there. Now, as I've said in the past, anybody who gives us a 5-star review on iTunes, I said I will read the review right here on the show, and we got a new one from Joseph Timmons. 5 stars, and it says, "The love and support everyone has around the table shines through the game and warms the heart. I always look forward to the next episode." Well, thank you very much, Joe. That means a lot. Anyone out there listening who wants to give us a 5-star review in iTunes, it really helps us out. It really helps make the show more searchable. It really does a world of good, and it costs you absolutely nothing. So if you're listening to us on iTunes, just give us a 5-star review, give us a quick blurb. It really helps the show out. We will also give you a live shout out here on the show for any Patreon donation, any denomination from $1, $2, whatever it might be. First off, thank you so very much. And second, we will give you a shout out here on the show. And you could find us at patreon.com/DnDgrandma for more details about that. And today's community shout out goes to another friend of the podcast, one of the purest and just most wonderful people to follow in this community, the Crafting Muse, who is a mini and terrain painter, supporter of all things tabletop, and just an all-around great person. You can find her on her YouTube channel, youtube.com/thecraftingmuse. You could also follow her on Twitter at thecraftingmuse. I highly suggest you do both. I promise you, you will not regret it. She is one of the best people to follow out there. And with all of that out of the way, I am going to sit back and let you enjoy episode 20. Please listen all the way through to the end, as some interesting things happen at the very end of the episode. So please just sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. So the Trust Circle is still downstairs, doing their big group hug. Okay. What happens now, Heroes of Whitebridge?
Interview the sharpshooter? The guy?
Steven.
Okay. I'm going to interview the guards. And they said that they wanted to have a meeting too that we were able to put up the trust circle for. But I don't know if they want us involved in that or if maybe she should just cast it and then leave. Because it can be within 60 feet.
Mm-hmm.
I have a feeling, though, since it's not going to be a guard or anything, it's going to be somebody.
Well, even if the guard could say, like, this person was around me, or...
Yeah,
you know
you're
what I
right,
mean?
you're right. Or I saw this, or I saw that, yeah, you're right.
And also,
Right.
Samuel said, he's just clever and cunning, too. Like, I don't... Somebody could have been bewitched, like, I don't know if you have an intentional mole anywhere to find,
Jenny Weasley, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean,
Jenny was doing it the whole time, but was it really her? Mm.
So anyway, you know how Craegan was sitting on the wall depending how far away he was, if he could see somebody, he could have been casting.
Yeah.
From outside the house.
I just think he's clever. He could have, secluded someone on a back alley street as they were walking past. I think that... I just think that it's just a possibility that there might not literally be a mole.
Okay. I still think it's worth talking to them. You don't think so?
No. Go ahead. Talk to them.
Okay. I'm going to go find Steven and bring him in.
All right, what's this all about?
Well, all right. I'll start with a couple of questions. Yeah. We've heard a lot about you, but we don't know anything about you.
All right.
Tell us a little about yourself.
I was married to her before she became that.
All right.
Ember, what the hell's going on?
Everybody has been being questioned. Everybody has been brought in to be questioned, and it's just to clear the air. We all did it. Everybody else did it. Samuel and everyone in this place has come in to confess, to speak the truth. That's essentially all it is. If you have nothing to hide, which you don't have anything to hide, then you're fine. They're going to ask you some basic questions. It's probably just not going to be me asking them.
Have you heard of anybody or anything or any incident that would lead you to believe that there is a breach in the security of the...
Other than the fact that they got inside our walls?
That's a good place to start. Would you know of anything about it? Any incidents? Any grunts talking of displeasure?
No, I haven't heard of anything out of the ordinary.
What about the night of the invasion of these Bonechewers? Did you see anything different? Did you see anybody acting differently or strangely or weirdly?
Oh, not that I noticed.
Any unusual faces that you saw in the building? I mean, we just arrived, and then it was the next morning. But the night that we arrived, were there anybody wandering around the halls, faces you didn't recognize?
Well, I don't know all the aviary people.
Sounds clean to me if anybody else has any questions.
Where's your loyalty?
To Emperor.
Where's your loyalty, I don't want to say country-wise. Is it country? State-wise?
Do you have any underground dealing with the Bonechewers?
No, of course not.
Have you been approached by the Bonechewers?
No. At least I don't think so. I mean, I guess one could have not told me he was a Bonechewer, but not that I know of.
But nobody approached you?
No.
Have you been faithful to Ember?
Oh my God.
Is that a real question?
You don't have to answer that because we were apart for a few years. It's perfully fine.
Have you
thought
been
I was
faithful
dead.
to Ember?
Oh my God.
Yes, every day.
What? They asked Samuel.
Just trying to stir us up.
It was a fair question with Samuel.
Yeah, exactly.
If you said no, I still would love you.
That's a lie.
That was Vin. That was not Steven.
I think he's clear.
Me too. Yep.
Okay.
You're dismissed.
Thanks. Bye.
Dismissed.
You said guards.
The sharpshooters or whoever the fuck they
The
are.
archers. Like,
Okay.
kind of like bringing them in one by one, asking them the same kind of questions. Like,
Okay.
I want to know, who were you around that day? Just casual conversations. Did you eat or drink anything that was handed to you that you did not pour yourself? And were you outside the compound at all throughout that day?
Are you asking that of all of them, or?
Yeah.
Yeah. And who gave the order for them to stand watch?
In
Who
those
put you on
windows?
In those
position?
windows.
Adric.
It was Adric.
Adric, yeah.
And that's something in there.
You get a variety of answers. Like, some of them were outside, some of them weren't.
Anything that was consistent throughout all of their stories? Like, they all happened to eat bread that was given to them?
No,
in the
nothing
kitchen.
like that. No.
Nothing
like that.
So there was no real pinpoint. I want to ask every one of them, where does your loyalty lie?
They all say to Whitebridge and to Adric.
Truthful. Good answers.
Have you ever fallen asleep on duty before?
No comment.
All three?
Oh, come on! What guard hasn't?
Okay, alright, I understand that. But if you feel dozy, tell somebody. There's no shame in it. The worst offense would be someone sneaking past you.
All
you
right.
know, like what happened.
Yeah, all right.
Do you feel guilty about what happened?
Of course.
Okay.
I think it's good.
Are you prepared to redeem yourself?
Yes, ma'am.
Good questions, Ember.
I'm happy.
I don't have anything else for him. Laura? Dismiss him.
You can see the bailiff.
Dismiss.
You can see the bailiff on the way out. Anybody else to question?
No, disappointed in them. That's not a real soldier, but they're truthful. It happens.
They're willing to redeem themselves.
They have
and
flaws.
they feel
Yeah,
remorse.
They're real soldiers, but they have flaws.
Yeah.
If they feel remorse and are willing to rectify,
No, that's something that's good.
that's the best you can ask for.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the best thing now is hopefully we put some mind at ease, and I think now we should talk to Samuel and Shedrick and Worksbane and talk about possibly bringing the aviary and the city guard together and being a cohesive unit like we've discussed. And possibly figuring out a way to fight back instead of just sit here like little ducks. Yes?
I'm good with that.
Me too.
And is there any other place we can hide?
Well, I would say Tremaine Manor, but...
I wish if we knew there was a better place to hide, me and Rowena could teleport us all out of here, and they could be surrounding an empty house. That'd be pretty good.
What about... Didn't they have that airship, that invisibility airship? Could we be on the invisibility airship, fly it over the house, and...
Drop a couple big rocks down there.
That looked like the 1920s in Chicago.
You can't get me, Kappa!
I thought she was going to go pew, 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 pew.
Pew. Can you get any of those wyverns back?
I mean, that would be an awfully long trip to try to ask for help from them.
Let's try to figure out a way to get out of here so that they're surrounding an empty building. Does that make sense? And see what other allies we can approach. Okay.
I think the biggest thing is we got to try and get the aviary, the guards, and the army on speaking terms.
Yep.
So whenever we need to fight or whatever plan we need to do, they are all of one.
Maybe we should get
Well,
them
I
all
think we
together
start-
and do that, right?
Yeah, I think we just start with an information share saying we've been in there, we've been interrogating people to
Yeah.
be truthful, and, here's what we found. Basically, no one's lying to us,
I like all of that. I would also say that maybe there needs to be one figurehead in position that can unite both sides. Instead of saying, okay, well, I guess Samuel and Adric need to work together now. It's like, okay, no, now your armies report to me, both of them. And one person can stand there and control both armies. Does that make sense?
You saw what a pompous asshole my husband is, yes?
Yeah, but I feel like that means that he's not the person for the job.
Yeah, but best of luck taking that power away from him.
Not taking his power away from him, but having a security czar,
Making it 3 people instead of 2. Even if they're even keel.
Yeah, I don't know who that would be.
I don't know.
Well, so why don't we just start trying to get these guys together, at least let them talk it out.
Yeah.
Tor and I can go talk to Orcsbane.
I would actually say that you two should be involved. You and maybe even Umbra should be involved in that conversation. Who could be a third member to make it where the 3 of you guys would be like on a council of some sort. But anyway, that's my idea.
We need to get your husband. We need to get Orcsbane,
Shedrick.
Cedric.
Alright, let's see if we can get them all in a room.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that was the plan. I believe Samuel had told you that.
But now we agree is the most important part.
And we're saying it in truth because we all know we're not screwing each other
Yeah.
over. So it's more definitive.
When you come up from or out of the room where you had your meeting and came back together as a group, Samuel, Adric, and the council members, the rest of the council members, are are in a closed door meeting.
Oh, well, we missed
They
it.
beat us to the punch, perhaps?
That was that meeting was scheduled while you guys were down here. Samuel told you that.
Can we knock on the door?
If you want to. Oh, so you said he was going to finish it. After a minute, Adric opens it. Oh, come on in. We were just going to come get you anyway.
Ah, cool. Thanks. Sorry we're late.
So we all parade in?
Yeah, if you want to, sure.
Yep, I'm parading in.
So, and Shedrick is at the... okay, I believe we have come to an arrangement.
Yay.
Oh.
We've, some, calm, cool, collected talks have happened. And with a quick glance around the room, you could tell it wasn't calm, cool, or collected. At least it didn't start that way. Like, things have been disrupted and stuff. But, I believe we have found some common ground. We believe the time has come to go on the offensive.
Okay.
He's fixing his spectacles. But we want... Plan is... And Adric stop... Lord Mayor, if you allow me. We want to hit them on 3 different fronts. The 3 parts of the city that they've isolated. We want to take all 3. We have the lower city we want to get troops into. We don't know exactly where their base of operations is, where they've come into the city from. Yes, little girl in the back of the room.
I'm quite tall. I know that they've overrun the Mayor's Island. I have allies on the ground in the Mayor's Island, and
That's
there
good.
seems to be a lot of them there.
Okay. The Mayor's Island, the lower city, and the upper city. We want to get friendly troops into all 3 and begin fighting back and taking back our city. And we have 3 arms, so to speak, to hit them with. The city guard and the army, the aviary, and you.
Are we all dividing up?
Divide and conquer, so to speak.
Are we sharing our skills, though, is what I'm trying to ask. Like, is each unit going to have a little bit of everything? Or is it we, together, are a cohesive unit and we're going into one place?
Correct. That's one.
What place do you think we should go into?
Where do you think your skills would be most effective? Or what part of the city would you like to take back?
If it's just our group, I mean, just from a tactical perspective, like, we need somewhere where we can basically move like a wave. You know what I mean? Like, just a deliberate wave.
Gotta start at one
clearing
point
it out.
and start squishing them in, squishing them
Just like a glacier, going slow and steady and making sure we're covering it so that we can clear it out. The only place that I think our group has that size that would be appropriate is the island.
Could do that. If you were to take one of the sections of the city, too, you could possibly go underground, move faster than any of us could. Find where their base of operations is and destroy it.
Well, from what you said, that might actually be our old stomping ground, right?
The Mayor's Island.
Yeah. Well, no, specifically our home, our cottage.
Yeah, they're going in and out of it.
I mean,
The
they've
door was
claimed it
open.
as their own.
Yeah. They
Can
might
we
know that that's where we might be trying to get back to. I'm sorry.
Can we expect any backup if we do the Mayor's Island?
As much as we could, but the city guard will be in one section of the city and the aviary will be in another.
Why don't you feel like it's a good idea for us to all attack together?
Suppose we could, but I kind of like the tactics of hitting them at different points. Force them to defend on 3 different fronts at once.
You're trying to divide them, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Thinning out is
They were trying to divide us. Let's give them a taste of their own medicine.
I feel like we should
It
focus
just divides
fire,
us as well.
though. I feel like if the city guard and the aviary and us all together took the upper city, we could do that. And then we stand watch at the upper city wall on the river. If we all focused fire on just the upper city together, we could be a greater force, make a wall, and not let it down. Then we attack the Mayor's Island. You know what I mean?
She does make a point, Adric.
If we all divide and conquer, okay, we might have weakened them, but we don't know their numbers. We don't know where they are. There is no scouting missions that are happening right now for us to even know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you're telling me all of a sudden they disappeared, does that mean that there are actual faction members in here right now that are not wearing their cloaks and we don't know who they are? That means at any point we could have someone stabbing us in the back.
Could also mean they're underground.
In the tunnels that we use.
Makes sense.
All right, then.
I like her idea, but let's do it in the upper city, all together, as a united front.
Keeping us in the upper city but wanting to spread them out, you could have us still fighting in like on three sections, you know, like keep
Like
one
bring 'em
moving from the moving forward from the manor, you know. We can move through the underground and start, you know, like in the top of the area and move in, so that we're closing and forcing them. You know, the most effective way to do that is to make them go where we want them to go. You know, block them in. So by doing it in 3 ways, like I like the idea of 3 ways. I like the idea of thinning them out, but doing it over the course of the whole city is probably too much. Just focus it on where we are right now.
Like
get them out.
Force on the upper, force on the lower, and squeeze them in.
Yeah, squeeze them in. Exactly.
Funnel them in like rats when the water comes.
Exactly. If we want to take like the top area, we could teleport to Rowena's. Go out there and just, again, systematically clear the houses, clear the streets.
Yeah.
Each block, right?
Yeah, each block.
Take each block.
Sweep it. 3 fronts of sweepers until
2 sides and 1
basically
middle, right?
force them back to the island.
You could be in the middle.
I do like that idea.
We're gonna need a lot of boats.
I told you she was my best, Adric.
Okay, but we force them to the island.
But you
Yeah,
work
we
your way
eventually
north
have
to
to sweep
south
the
or south to north.
How do we get to the island?
We'd have to take ships.
We'd have to take ships, or Rowena would have to actually teleport us.
And probably
Us and not the whole rest of the army.
Yeah.
and
Eventually, you're going to need a small force to take that island, no matter what. The question is that do we start there? Or
We
do we
clean that
start by
place
cleaning
first.
out the top?
Do we have that airship
To get us over the island.
to get a whole bunch of people over to the island?
Even if it
quickly?
acted as a bridge, you can jump on the ship, walk over, and
The
jump
airship is on that island.
Oh, that's right, it is. Mother.
and we'd
Well,
have to
I can fly over, and she can fly over. We can. I
like,
don't know.
meet us.
When did you learn how to operate an airship?
I have skills. And land.
It would have
vehicles.
to be done at night.
Candle making, trinkets, flying airships.
I can arrange a bouquet like you have.
That's
done.
right. We have your girls there on that island,
They do.
right?
Yeah.
Have you spoken to them?
Not yet. I can reach out to them today.
We could have them continue doing what they're doing. We could go to the other end of Mayor's Island and work our way down and meet them. Probably have to take ships at night and very quietly.
You mean boats?
Well, boats. Take them across the armies.
So are we doing that first, or are we doing that once the upper city is taken? What do you guys want to do first?
Do we take the upper city back and give them?
I
For
like
lack
the
of the-
idea of taking the upper city. If they escape to the mayor's island, it doesn't matter. We still need to go there and wipe it out anyway.
Do we clear out the upper city and then do an attempt to parlay as a distraction while other people are going to the mayoral island?
Last
Well,
parlay
that's
was
tough.
not
It's
well
tough to
done.
fuck around on a parlay. You know.
We
Because
already
then it's
broke
not a
parlay
parlay.
already.
Alright, so parlay doesn't mean nothing. Twaddle.
All right, let's take a vote. Who wants to do upper city? Who wants to do mayor's island?
Like as 3 different squadrons going through the city, pushing into Mayor's Island.
It seems like the place where they're mostly.
Like the
If
hive.
yeah,
exactly. So
If
let's
we
get the
know.
hive. Let's do that. That
If we
sounds-
know for sure there's not enough in the upper city or the lower city, I say
But-
we just go
Or
like
would
that.
they abandon them if they know that they've lost their leader or their
But also,
stronghold?
you need to think of this. They were able to plant detonators on the White Bridge. Where else are there detonators planted?
Well, that's a
Could that-
valid point.
Could that be a thing where they have planted them all over, let's say the Mayor's Island, because that's the hive, and they're just waiting, and if things go south,
Just communicate with your people that are there.
Mm-hmm.
See if
You
they
could always
have
send a
anything.
message. Have you noticed any
Yeah.
detonators, any IEDs, for lack of a better?
Yeah. Okay.
I go
We
for
can do that.
Mayor's Island. That's my vote. But I'll go. Of course, I go with whatever majority rules.
Want to go with the hive?
You, Laura.
It doesn't matter to me. Wherever you
Umbra?
want me.
I think that is a strong plan. My gut would just be to clear out where we are to establish like a strong headquarters where we know, that doesn't go our way. We have a place to retreat that's safe.
I am with Umbra.
Yeah, I like that. I like that idea.
We already have people there. Let them make some noise.
I like the 3 forces starting in the upper city, clearing out upper city, and pushing them to Mayor's Island while having your force see if there's detonators and letting them know that maybe we're onto them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Clearing out the streets around us.
I think we handle what's literally on our plates right now, and then we can go to the islands. In the meantime, I think you have your people there make some noise.
To what end? What type of make some noises are they doing?
It's just a distraction.
Let them make noise and let's see what the guys up in the upper do if they.
Do they go to help them out? Maybe it thins out the number of people we have to fight. That kind of thing.
That's
Got
the
it.
case.
So it's just a scouting kind of thing. It's just a let's see what happens.
But if there's people going down
See what their
there,
responses
we have
are.
to make sure that we take care of the girls that are there because then now they're exposed.
Exactly. So then we go to the island and follow up with your plan. Start on one end and go to the other end.
When do you want to have them make noise? Right now?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what we're waiting for.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
I think we need some time to get everybody assembled and ready to go. There's a plan in place.
We can make that happen quickly.
Okay.
Can't we, Adric? Say the word.
Let's go.
Okay.
Talk to the girlies.
Okay.
I love that old Nokia
And
sound.
they look and say, "Oh, we'll put it on hold for a bit."
Okay, and what are you saying?
Oh, God. We need a distraction. Make some noise. Stay safe. Check in when you can. Look for traps that boom.
Okay. We'll stir up the pot. We'll make some noise and keep them busy for as long as we can.
They said okay.
All right. Let's go.
Okay.
So we're all going up to the roof to see what happens? Is that what's happening?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
I
that's...
thought we were getting, like, the army's all set.
They don't.
They're-
We don't need to get them ready. We
they're
just tell
already-
them.
Oh, okay.
They'll be like, do, 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 do.
What's the best place that we should be, though, to see what's happening up there? Like, what's happening out on the street? That's why I was saying I want to go to the
I
roof.
don't think on the roof where we can possibly be spotted and shot down.
A balcony, a
Yeah.
big
Balconies
room.
we have.
That's
I'll
all I want
stealth.
to do.
Give me the
Be
broom.
upstairs.
Give me the broom and I'll stealth.
Okay,
All right.
Let's go.
stealth away.
Yes.
16 plus 13, 29.
29. Okay, Umbra. She just takes the broom, and I'm gonna, for the fun of it, I'll say right from there, still in the council chamber, you get on the broom and fly out of the room, down the hallway, out the front door of the house.
And no one fucking saw you.
Yeah.
Oh, so they felt wind. That was it, right?
In case.
And you fly up because you're trying to get above the skyline, effectively, to kind of see what's
Yeah.
happening. Okay. And after a minute or two, you see what looks to be some kind of spells being casted toward the house, and you hear shots, crossbow bolts being fired. Something has been kicking off at the house
At the house.
that you can see over at the mayor's. So you fly a few minutes to kind of get a good vantage point,
Okay.
and you can see something is going on over there.
Okay. So they're
Alright.
stirring up trouble.
Mhm.
All right. So now I, basically like circle back,
Mm-hmm.
and I just want to see if I see any movement on the ground, anybody making their way in that direction. Is any, you know what I mean? Is there any movement?
Okay. When you turn back, you would see this from the aerial viewpoint as you're coming back to the house.
Yeah.
All of you see this as you're looking out the front windows of the house. You see the actual people holding the satchels around the perimeter. People just coming up to the perimeter walls. Dark cloaked figures, humanoids, just appear like they came out of the woodwork and just ran to the perimeter wall, and they're holding satchels. You see satchels being turned upside down over the perimeter wall, and all of these dark black objects falling out of it
Oh boy.
onto the grounds.
Do I recognize it, especially? Oh no.
Make a perception check. You can too as well, Umbra.
Okay.
18.
12.
It's dead birds.
Oh.
Oh, shit.
Hundreds and hundreds of dead birds just being thrown into the...
Every type of bird, or is it just crows?
It's a lot of dark, raveny, crowy type. You just see black. You see from where you are, they're just little black shapes.
Okay, Sarielle's face just goes slack, and Where's Samuel?
With that, you see a little bolt of fire come through the archway of the court that leads into the courtyard, lands in the middle, and then out like a spider web, you see about a dozen fuses, and the topiary catches fire.
All of them?
All the birds of the topiary go up.
How far away are they?
Are you gonna tidal wave?
No.
Did we say 150? I think we said half a football field.
Yes, it was very long.
It's 150.
half of a football field?
And in the middle of the fire at the topiary that has now caught fire, two figures begin making their way up through, which is now an archway of fire, effectively, on either side. You see a really large figure, about the size of Tor, give or take, dragging a large greatsword on the ground next to him as he walks up the front in through the fiery archway. And next to him, you see a half orc with a tight ponytail and the sides of his head shaved,
Was the guy that
holding a small metal object in his hand.
Small?
Yep.
Okay.
Where are all of you positioned? I know where you are.
Yeah,
I'm on a balcony.
Yeah, I'm with her.
Balcony.
Balcony.
Balcony?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, we can do that 3 times. Cool.
He's not considered a human.
Are we
right?
fighting right now?
No, they're humanoids.
I think we're
Maybe.
getting ready.
Can I cast full person?
What's the range?
Oh, good question.
So it won't be Ember. However, Sashim,
Uh-oh.
Tor, and Nulara.
Uh,
Sashim,
What?
that'll miss you.
oh, good.
Tor, that'll miss you.
Yay.
what did you do? Throw something?
I think it's, yeah.
Nulara, that will hit.
Uh-oh.
Okay. The windows behind you, as he effectively does like a Clint Eastwood fan the hammer type thing, he's actually got a type of pistol you've not seen anyone else carry. It's looks like an old-fashioned pepper box, or it's like the whole thing is like a revolving barrel.
Uh-huh.
And he did the windows behind the two of you shatter. Nulara, a burst of like burning sensation hits you in the chest. You take 13 points of piercing damage.
I would like to do Scorching Ray.
Nulara,
How much?
13.
A whole person is 60 feet. When they walked up, would they walk up into that type of range?
I'm gonna say they're out of whole person range.
Okay.
I'm gonna
I
say they're a little
have-
too far away for it.
Scorching Ray, which is 120. Did they move up at least?
They're in range of Scorching Ray.
Alright, I'm going to Scorching Ray at like 3rd level, man.
Okay. That will then trigger initiative. I'll allow that to be rolled.
Thank you.
Do we know what this guy with the great sword is?
He's not like an ogre. Or...
Yeah.
He's not an ogre, but he looks to be about Tor's size.
Oh, okay. I'm going to roll 6 firebolts.
Holy Hannah Jane. Okay.
Oh, I want to fucking kill this fucker.
Oh, man, she's in a bad mood. They just started.
Not that I'm questioning it, but shouldn't I take damage as well because I was on balcony?
They did not have. He didn't have enough turns to fire at you.
Okay.
He only had 3 shots, and I rolled for it. It was Sashim, Tor, and Nulara.
Would a 19 hit?
Yes.
Then I have 5 hits.
All on the big guy.
Oh, I was going for the bad
You're
guy.
shooting at Craegan.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Okay. Roll me damage.
Oh, boy.
That is 10d6. Are
Good.
you ready, sir?
That ain't gonna kill him. Go ahead.
I'm gonna fucking piss him off. Oh, no, wait, hold on.
Oh, you gotta get rid of the bad numbers?
2. Oh, yeah, I did roll good, though.
38.
38, sir.
38 as 5 bursts of
Well, 6, 1 missed.
5 rays of fire erupt from Ember. And Craegan does his best Sonny Corleone impression as the 5. He staggers back with smoke coming off of his armor. He didn't like that too much. That
Okay.
didn't make him happy. He is a sad panda right now.
Sad
He
pants.
still has the gun in his hand, though, right?
Oh, of course he does. All right, folks, what are your initiative?
Oh, sorry.
20.
Natural 20, so 22. We're going to go circle this way. Umbra,
20.
Nulara,
14.
Ember,
19.
Tor,
21.
and Sashim.
6.
You are 120 feet away. That's what we're going to say.
120 feet.
Yep.
That's all I
So
know.
first action, Sarielle.
I want to cast Synaptic Static.
Okay.
I'm going to put the 20-foot radial sphere right in between Craegan and whoever he is with.
Okay. I think they roll saving throws.
Sorry. Intelligence.
Intelligence.
Does the guy have a 2 or lower? The other guy?
No.
Okay.
No. Big guy fails. Craegan passes.
Okay. 33.
Okay. Holding his head as he lets out a grunt. Movement or bonus action?
He also has muddled thoughts. So
Sure he does.
He's going to subtract, during that time it rolls a d6 and subtracts the number rolled from its attack rolls, ability checks,
Okay.
con saving throws. No movement.
Okay.
Bonus.
Tor.
Alright, so you said they're 120 feet, right?
Yeah.
I want to get to, I have my boots. I want to run up to at least 60 feet.
Okay, you're on a balcony, so I'll need an athletics check to jump down.
Okay. 16?
Okay. Easily enough.
Oh, shit.
As Tor just leaps over the side of the balcony
Oh!
and lands. Okay,
Okay.
now you'll have your movement.
Right. Move up 60 feet.
Okay, well, you
I
said
made the
your
jump.
Your bonus action will be to click the boots,
Right.
which will then double your movement. So you'll have 80 feet. I'll say you can get right up on them, but
Right.
that'll be your turn.
That'll be my turn.
You can go the full. I'll give you the full movement, like if you were going to dash,
Right.
and then that'll be your turn.
Alright, so I make it down. I make the jump down without moving forward. What's the distance? Still
120.
120?
120, because you're up.
Right.
You're up.
I'm
You're
gonna
jump down.
You didn't
straight
go like
down.
that.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay there.
Okay. Umbra.
Okay, I'm currently hidden from them, right?
Yeah, they
So I
can't
have
see
to
you.
roll
They
for
haven't
that?
noticed you up there.
Okay. Alright, so I'm gonna put a fire hour on the big guy.
Okay.
Nat 20.
Of course you did.
Do you need to borrow all of my dice?
Here's my box of dice. You can take that.
Hold on.
Jeez.
Don't let
Hold
that.
on. Okay,
Not left.
so there's two d8s. So
Oh, look at his
3
face.
of these. 3 of these.
He looks like he's hurting.
2.
He's physically hurt by
Yeah,
this.
yeah, he's hurting.
I'm not saying anything.
He's staying out of the fray.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna make it a distracting strike.
This just cracks me up. I love it.
One more. I get to add my 7 dice.
Oh, you remembered.
Remember to kick.
So
Anthony, this
that-
is
it's
gonna be
gonna
all
be-
you. I'm not
It's going to be
adding this
that
up.
plus 21.
You're kidding.
Oh, wait, hold
Now
on.
you
Some
gotta
of them are
take out-
cocked. There you go.
49, 51.
Wow.
Plus 21.
72.
72.
That's fucking impressive. Oh my god.
Okay.
Second
That,
attack!
that just happened. It's a casual 72 damage.
Wow.
There's another day at the office. For
That
Umbra.
is so cool.
For the bad guys, right?
Yeah, go ahead, second attack, sure. You haven't, yeah.
Second attack.
Go ahead.
32.
To hit?
Yeah.
Holy crap. What'd you
Oh,
roll?
no, wait. I'm adding the wrong thing. Hold on.
Oh.
It's a plus 5.
Okay, yeah, 24.
24.
Still hits.
You could have used it with the dragon, eh?
Okay.
That fight would have been a lot different if you had Umbra.
Yeah. I wouldn't have been
Fire.
unconscious for half the day.
Both of us on our backs, right?
10, 14 plus 14. So 28.
Would you like to call it?
Oh! On
Well,
third.
there was jump.
Third person.
I just want the arrow to, like, hit him right in the back of the skull. Like, right here.
Which one are we talking about? The big
The
guy?
big guy.
The big guy.
The big guy. So the
big
first
guy.
arrow punches into the back of his head. And he's like actually using the greatsword almost like a cane to keep himself on his feet.
Yeah.
Umbra draws that second arrow and it actually punches the first arrow
Right there.
through the guy's mouth.
Oh. Oh, nice.
The exact same spot twice. Use the second arrow as a hammer to drive the first
Yeah,
arrow
yeah,
as a nail through him.
Goodness.
That's
Amazing.
Little
And I'm
Robin
going to use
Hood
my
action.
bonus action as stealth.
Okay.
Okay. 21.
Okay. No problem. 4th, Ember.
Do I have to do anything?
Craegan is still there.
Craegan is still there.
Craegan is still
Okay.
there.
Yeah.
All at war. Okay, let's do it. What I want to do is I'm going to.
That's amazing. I love it.
Wow.
In one
was
turn, she
fucking
was-
insane.
One turn. She killed him.
And now you might actually have a shot at Craegan. I didn't think you'd kill him this early. You might actually have a shot at him now.
He's like, oh, Craegan's not gonna, die or anything. Fuck you, we got her. All right, so
Have you met our little friend?
I am going to use a spell I've never used before, so
We didn't
please
do
bear with
anything.
me. I'm
Okay.
using Sunbeam.
All right.
So what I want to do is release my flames. Release my wings. I'm going to fly up so I can get closer to him. I'm going to cast Sunbeam by quickening.
All right. That's a con save for him, right?
Yes, please. It is 10-foot wide, 60-foot line.
That's a fail.
That's a fail?
Yep.
Okay. Never used this spell before. I am so excited.
I'm excited for you.
Thank you.
I'm gonna be seeing the number 72 in my fucking nightmare.
Okay.
It's gonna come to life like Sesame Street, like the numbers that would actually come to life.
This episode of Your Dream has been brought to you by number 7 and 2.
Oh, no, that's pretty decent. 29. And he is blinded until my next turn. Ooh.
What's blinded?
Blinded means
Oh, blinded. I'm sorry. I heard something.
Blighted?
Yeah.
You hear blinded? Because that's what I thought I heard too.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Oops.
Blinded by the light.
Oh boy.
Wrapped up like
The DM didn't think it was going to go this way.
And now
Not
you're
at
freaking
all.
blind.
New Laura.
I am so super shiny, right, guys? I'm
Oh,
just
yeah.
telling you, because my wings are out, I am shining for 300 feet, but because of this spell, I'm shining even brighter for another 30.
Well, shine on, you crazy diamond. New Laura.
All the day.
Oh,
Go ahead, Mom.
Oh, he makes it.
Oh,
Oh, no!
Yeah, that's 18. 18
Oh.
makes it. But that's but you could bonus action something.
A spiritual weapon.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
there you go.
Yeah, I could do that. What good is a spiritual? What good one?
A good one. Something that messes with his head. Oh, making a crow would be cool. But you could also make it an arrow because this fucker has been decimated today.
You could also make it a chunk like
I
that.
do like the arrow.
Oh,
Okay.
A flaming arrow.
Okay.
Because this butthead comes in with guns and we
Appears.
just took him out with one
Roll
arrow.
me a spell attack with advantage because your attacker, your target is blinded.
Oh, take the highest?
Yep.
11 plus what?
9.
There you go.
20.
20.
Hits.
There you go.
There you go.
D8 plus 5.
Come on, baby. 7.
7? I think you were probably out of range for those spells, but I'm going to allow it.
Oh, was that a range for what?
I think you were out of range for those spells. I didn't think he was too far away.
Where's your
Oh,
book?
I don't know.
But there's this little thing. Actually, there's this little thing in D&D that
A little thing in D&D.
that I can do called a retcon. So would you like to do something else instead of those?
Instead of both?
Retcon would be like
Retroactive.
continuity.
Continuity.
Retroactive continuity. Yeah, retcon.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll do guiding bolt.
There it is. Actually, and you know what I'll do for you? That 20 that you rolled for the spiritual weapon, we'll make that your guiding bolt.
Okay.
So 4 d6s.
Okay.
Go get him, Mom.
Okay.
11, 12.
Would you like to call it?
That's excellent.
Let that arrow pierce his head. The flaming arrow pierce his head this way.
New Laura releases the guiding bolt, and it goes straight at him. And then at the last second, arcs upward and comes straight down through his
In
head.
through his skull, into his brain.
And he
And
drops
probably his throat.
the spell scroll of teleport that he was about to use to get out of dodge.
Take that.
You just fucking killed Craegan.
I didn't even go.
Wait, did
I
you tell
jumped.
Victoria that Craegan wasn't going to get killed today?
Oh my god.
Wow.
It was his hubris. It was his own arrogance that brought him down.
Well.
Spell scroll. Do I see it fall out of his hand?
Yeah, you see him
I'm
drop
gonna
a scroll.
Dive and get that.
Okay, it is.
Yeah.
It's a scroll of teleport.
Yes.
Any
That's what I keep
weapons that he has? Can I get that gun?
Sure.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna take the gun.
It is a pepper box.
How about that?
Pepper box.
Wow.
I'll give you the specs on it
Look
later,
at
Laura.
you.
Cool.
I really want Umbra to come back with, like, you know, his ponytail, and we'll just go and throw it on the floor and be like, all right, we did your job. Go round up the rest. I want to speak with Dead.
Why?
Okay.
Oh, you're going back to the talking
Did
head.
you, Laura, prepare that spell today?
No. How long do I have before I can speak to this guy?
It just says a corpse.
Oh,
A corpse that died within the last 10 days.
Okay.
well, there you go.
But New Laura would also know answers are usually brief, cryptic, and the corpse is under no compulsion to offer a truthful answer,
Oh,
especially if it considers you an enemy.
so you're
Okay.
running a 50-50 shot.
Is he dead 0, or we want to make sure he's dead, right?
By the time you all get to him, I'd say
He bled out.
he was on death's door before the guiding bolt.
Oh, okay.
He was not doing well.
I like it. Okay,
So do I.
I'm going to make sure
72.
everyone knows that I need to speak to this corpse.
Well, should we take the corpse somewhere?
Oh,
Do you have a place, like, in your crypts that's kind of like a prison?
We have crypts.
Wait, before we move the two, I want
I
to search the
think.
bodies, both of them. Do
Okay.
I take the gun and the scroll? Do I get anything else?
You get the gun, you get the scroll. That would be the best of what you get.
Okay, and I'm assuming the big guy. What does he have anything on him?
He had plate armor. He had the great sword. He didn't have anything fun.
Okay.
The most fun you're gonna get is that's the scroll of teleport and the pepper box.
Okay.
So for the entire rest of the day,
we
the,
can rest.
the city guard and the aviary work together to track down the Bonechewers, find them, and destroy them.
Are we cleaning out Mayor's Island?
Eventually, you would get there, or you could boogie right there if you wanted to.
Well, what I'm asking is, like, are we going to play that out?
That was exactly my question. Did you want to do that?
You want to play it out?
No.
Okay.
That was exactly my question.
If it's
Do you
just
want
a mop-up job and there's no, like,
Yeah,
tricks or
okay.
things to be found, like, is there any
The
information
girls are
which
fine
to be
over there,
found?
right?
Yeah, yeah.
Not from anyone else. The only
Okay,
people
okay.
would be Craegan, and you're going to speak with them.
So just be XP points, basically.
I think we're okay.
Okay.
I think we're gonna go
You're looking
celebrate.
at XP.
Okay. And there is a celebration. You cut
That
off the
night?
ponytail. I heard someone say they're going to take his ponytail.
Celebrate good times. Come on.
Yeah, I'm not touching his slimy hair. You can cut his ponytail.
Nah, I'm alright.
And honestly, let's
I'll cut his hair.
let's do any conversations at the party, because I think that would work well, right? If there's a big celebration at Crow Manor.
Well, the next morning we're waking up and we're going to question that corpse. Just to make sure we remember, we're taking the body and we're putting it in one of the
Nice.
crypts and locking it.
Do the train.
Wow.
And it is a nice party amongst Crow Manor. Is there any conversations that anybody wants to have with anyone?
I want to give Sarielle a big old hug.
Me?
Yeah.
Why me? Like,
we were
like,
arguing and we
like
were
she
fighting.
hugs me and I'm just like, why me?
Why
Well,
wouldn't you?
we were arguing and we were at each other's throats, I feel. And I don't like arguing with people who I love, so even though we do argue, but I feel like sometimes we're like sisters. So I want to make sure that we love each other at the end of the day.
And I hug
Are you
her
talking
back.
in real life or were you arguing the game?
We're arguing the game.
Well, both.
Also real life a lot.
Also real life. I give her a big hug back and I kind of whisper in her ear. So I never had a sister, but you could be my sister.
Oh.
Okay.
You're still, and I like kind of look over for Sashi and I'm like, that one's still my best friend though. Just saying.
That's fine. I don't think I could possibly handle being your best friend.
Not many can.
Way too much work.
Not many can.
Way too
I
much
barely
work.
can.
And I I just take over kind of like hostessing duties at
Okay.
What
her
you
manor.
what you do, what
I
best.
do.
Yeah.
What I do best.
I want to spend my day. I'm gonna pull out my brewer's supplies and I'm just gonna brew ale, getting ready for the party.
Okay.
And then at the party, I want to make sure that at some point I find Samwell, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm the sharpshooter I am because of you.
You might be the sharpshooter you are because of me, but you're the tactician and natural leader that you are because of you.
Yay! That makes me happy.
Who knows? Maybe one day you'll be in charge.
Oh, I like bossing people around, so that could be good.
I've gathered that about you.
I'm gonna message Steven and say, I want us to keep an eye on the crypt where the body is.
Huh? Oh. I'm never gonna get used to that.
This poor
Sure,
guy's
okay.
frightened.
You got it. I'll take care of it.
Yeah, let's keep an eye on it. I don't want anyone sneaking in there and trying to heal him.
Sashim, Tor, anything in particular?
Actually, I'm kind of relaxed. I'm just walking around. It's out of habit. I will walk the perimeter to see if everything's okay. But I'm really not like, I don't feel like I'm on guard.
Okay.
I do have a cup of ale.
Okay. And it's a party in the house, outside the house, and in the upper city, it's kind of a block party. Like there's people walking around.
Yeah. So that's what I'm enjoying myself, but it's just out of habit. I'm doing
You see,
perimeter work.
when you go down to the perimeter, you see Rowena's outside, and she's got a little chair, and she's doing like these little prestidigitations for kids in the area.
And I'm smiling at that. That's good.
Wendell, you see, just sitting kind of quietly, laughing and enjoying this, just having a drink. Tor, anything?
I'm
special?
just drinking,
Okay.
keeping one eye on her while she's scoping around.
And you really like Umbra's homebrew ale.
Yes.
Nice and
I want to
strong.
get
Very
nice
good,
and
yes.
trashed with Wendell and have a sharpshooter contest because he's got his new crossbow.
Ooh,
And
okay.
I keep an eye on them to make sure they don't shoot in the wrong direction.
Oh.
I'm not even going to roll for him. He's not as good as you.
Especially if there's any paintings of Sarielle around, something that's good for target practice.
He tries bravely, but loses badly.
Because the beauty of Sarielle's painting distracted him.
Oh,
Right?
Ember Nulara. Ember Nulara.
I'm still in
I'm
awe of how
looking.
fast.
I'm looking around. I don't like it. We still did not figure out what is really happening. Just because he's dead doesn't mean that it's over. And I want to look around. Does anyone look like they're still conspiring, still planning, still in secret conversations, or maybe looks like, oh shit, now what do I do? Who's not celebrating?
Make an insight check. Nulara, anything or you just...
No,
Okay.
nothing at all.
What's that?
Is that 20?
14.
Insight. Oh! Insight 14. 18.
Texting you.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay, Ember?
Okay.
Okay. And finally, Sarielle.
I want to find Samuel. Real quick.
Not hard to find. He's not hiding.
Surprise.
Never.
Lord Crow.
Should I roll my chin and roll my shoulder and tuck my chin?
Oh, because you're going to hit him.
Not today. I think I did enough damage today. Do you think this is it?
I don't know. Seems a little too perfect.
It does seem too perfect. Nothing really seems to work out perfectly for us, does it?
No. But I suppose it doesn't hurt enjoying a bit of levity and celebration. There'll be plenty of time for fighting tomorrow.
I'm just worried. That's all.
Are we okay?
For tonight.
That's fair. We'll work on forever tomorrow.
Till then, we have guests. Please do not go and bob for apples and get yourself a mess again. I do have to be seen in public with you.
And he goes like this to your chin. That's the Sarielle I married.
Let's go.
Your father walks over. Lord Crow, may I cut in for a moment? And with that, Crow just steps aside. I'll catch up with you later, dear.
Lord Tremaine.
Lady Crow. Hold on. Lady Crow. It's tough sometimes. So, I just want to give you a heads up on something. She's very nervous to ask herself, and I just want to make sure I tell her it's okay. Rowena wants you to be her maid of honor.
Will the maid of honor dress be as perfect as what I made for Sashim?
Oh, God.
We'll allow you to design it yourself. And he takes he holds out his arm for you to take, and he begins walking down the perimeter to where Rowena is sitting, doing the little
Entertain the kids.
entertaining the kids.
And you're happy?
I am happier than I've been in a long time.
Insatiably happy?
Yes, that's not a word I use often.
Anything for you. And I'm just happy to see you happy.
I'll tell her to ask them that it's a go.
It's a go.
She does make me happy, Sarielle. You could probably learn some magic from her if you hang around with her for too long.
Let's just work on the whole maid of honor thing first and like getting a stepmother because that's...
Fair enough. I'm just saying. She's actually was telling me she's starting her own... She's trying to start her own school of magic.
Her own school of magic?
Yeah, she's calling it Artemancy.
What does that mean?
The way she described it to me was, she has this strange ability that she was able to tap into her wild magic powers. She can actually, paint paintings that then come to life.
Oh. Paintings that come to life?
Yes. Like, she can paint a scene, and then later on that scene will come true.
Oh.
It's quite a talent. We'll pick that up next month.
Oh!